My name's Alec Pezzano, and I play guitar and orchestrals for IATT. In the past, for previous albums, I have taken full creative control over the artwork. This time around for Magnum Opus, we chose to go with an outside artist, which I think kind of lends to the collaborative spirit of the album. We had discussions back and forth about, concept and to make sure that someone else got the vision of what we wanted. And I think ultimately, he brought something fresh and new to the table. That's something I wouldn't have thought of doing. And this was kind of just another step in the evolution of IATT and where this album is going. The songwriting process was different for this album in the fact that we spent a lot of time in our home studios creating and then meeting up to kind of mesh together what we had created. We've always been like a band that prides ourselves on collaborating and our chemistry that works really well together. This album was a little bit different in the sense that we didn't spend as much time in the writing process together, but I think what happened was we came up with some really interesting and creative ideas that we were then able to kind of mesh together. This style of writing process was something that I think worked out in our benefit, and it's something that we'll continue to do. We spent a considerable amount of time working on tones, not just between Joe and myself guitar-wise, but also bass, also dealing with the drum toms. We wanted everything to sit perfectly aligned so that you could really understand and comprehend what each instrument was doing, which really translates on the album. And I think that would reward repeat listens because you'll be able to focus in and really kind of like hone in on which instrument's doing what at what time. I think people will really dig that. There's always a balance between the music that the band is creating and then the added bonus of the orchestrals, and trying to find like the sweet spot between what is too much, too far, and what is just the right amount. Playing off the themes of this album, it kind of gave me creative freedom to really push the envelope and come up with some sweeping, soaring, majestic, bombastic soundscapes, really, which just kind of it all kind of fell right into place with this album. I think one of the most challenging songs to write was Demiurge. It's a very progressive song, and there's a lot of different moving parts and elements, but that being said, it might be one of the most rewarding songs for the listener because there's so much going on, and I think that's a song in particular where repeat listens will be beneficial. You'll pick up on little things that you didn't get on first or even second listen. So I'm excited to see what people say about that song. This by no means is a traditional black metal album, but I think black metal fans will appreciate the level of black metal we put into this. But there's something for everybody. If you're a fan of progressive metal, death metal, if you like 80s like synth pop stuff, like there's something in it for everyone. And I think that in a weird way we were able to take all these tiny little bits and pieces and mesh them together into something that's pretty special. Bands say this all the time. We put our hearts into this. We really put our hearts and our time and our energy and our blood, sweat, and tears into this album. It was a transformative piece from writing to production to the finished product. We've transformed as people, and I hope that comes across to the listeners, that they could feel that emotion throughout the entire album.